What's up, YouTube? Back at you with another video, and I'm just getting my reaction to Georgia beating Ole Miss. They beat them down, huge victory. They beat them 52-17. Uh, Georgia, man, just looked like, in my opinion, the number one team in the country. I think they should be number one at this point. I mean, beating the number 9 team like that, 52-17 was a huge feat. And Georgia just looks dominant on both sides of the ball. I'm gonna read off their stats. Carson Beck had uh, 18 completions with 25 attempts for 306 yards passing with 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. At this point, I feel like Carson Beck should be in the Heisman race. I mean, this guy just consistently puts up high numbers, man. Nobody really talks about him. They're talking about Bo Nix and Michael Phoenix and uh, guys like that, but Jaden Daniels, but Carson Beck, man, needs to be in that conversation, man. He's doing a phenomenal job, quietly doing a phenomenal job for the Georgia Bulldogs. Uh, he's got comfortable, like I said many times, uh, he's just leading that team. He's a general for that team. He's doing a phenomenal job. Uh, Rushing wise for Georgia, Kendall Milton had a great day. Had 127 yards rushing with 2 touchdowns. He's averaging 14.1 yards a carry. That's elite. Kendall Milton, man. And I'm hearing that he's not even fully healthy. That's what I saw some Georgia fans say. So he's doing a phenomenal job. And of course, I still got Dejon Edwards, man. Bowling ball, 59 yards rushing with 2 touchdowns. Andrew Paul was able to get one with 32 rushing yards. This Georgia team, man, just really, really good. They accounted for 5 touchdowns, and they was able to get they finished the game with 300 rushing yards. That's insane. They just ran through Ole Miss like a hot knife through butter, man. Just went through. Receiving wise, Lad McConkey led the receiving corps with 81 yards receiving with 1 touchdown. Brock Bowers came back, having a tightrope surgery. That guy's a beast, man. Just had it turn around that quick. Just had surgeons out there playing on his foot and everything. Just did a phenomenal job. He had 34 receiving yards with a touchdown. So, I mean, uh, Georgia, man, just loaded everywhere. Um, just all those receivers that they had. Number 11, he had 77 yards receiving. Ra Thomas had 54. Uh, Marcus Rosenme Jackson had 22. They only accounted for 2 passing touchdowns. You would think they would have had more than that, but they did everything on the ground in this matchup. Because Ole Miss couldn't stop them, So it was a good game plan to have. If you can run it, just run down their throats, and that's what they did to Ole Miss. And that defense, man, just showed up again. Got 2 sacks on the day. Just did a pretty good job. Had 5 tackles for loss. I mean, just good all the way around, for this Georgia defense, man. And they're just good all the way around. Javon Bullard, he was able to get an interception. I mean, just dominant. Georgia should be the number 1 team, in my opinion. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. They're the best team in the country, the 2-time defending champs, and they just look like the best team in the country. We read off Ole Miss stats. Jackson Dart, he had 10 completions with 17 attempts for 112 yards. Didn't throw a passing touchdown, but he did throw an interception. I think so Javon Bullard picked him off. Quishon Judkins, he had 22 carries for 75 yards. He only averaged 3.4 yards a carry. He had 2 touchdowns, though. But he couldn't really do anything, as far as, run behind the line of scrimmage. But they hit Georgia in the mouth early on in the first quarter. But after that, I think, they scored 1 in the first quarter and the second quarter. And then after the half, they just didn't score any more touchdowns. Uh, Georgia is one of the best teams in the country when it comes to doing in-game adjustments. I mean, they're really, really good at that. That's what makes them elite and scary. Really, really good team. Just got a great defensive staff over there. Of course, with Kirby Smart at the helm, man, they just really, really good at making adjustments. Um, that's pretty much it as far as rushing. Frazier Mason, he had 24 yards, but it really was Quincy Junkins with just 2 touchdowns on 75 yards. Receiving, nobody got a receiving touchdown. Jackson Dart didn't have time to throw. That Georgia defense, is coming alive. Uh, they're kind of like, they're not really high ranked in the SEC as far as sacks, but these last 2 games they've been able to get some sacks, so that's starting to come around for them. Defensively, I'm not even gonna read off any defensive stats for Ole Miss. They wasn't able to do anything. Carson Beck had a clean jersey. Like he mentioned at the end, the only reason his jersey was dirty because he slid, a couple times when he scrambled. For the most part, he had a clean pocket back there all night. Ole Miss could not get to him. Uh, Ole Miss failed to get a pass rush. So you got to give credit to Georgia's offensive line. Just really, really good all the way around. Just the best team in the country. I'll just say that. They are the best team in the country. Uh, I'm going to read off the total yardage between the two teams. Ole Miss got 352 total yards offense. They got 173 through the air. And they got 179 rushing. So Ole Miss was able to run the ball a little bit on Georgia. They got over 150 yards rushing, but yards per rush they was able to get 4.0 yards a rush. So that's pretty good, but they just can't convert it to points. Georgia, on the other hand, this is a ridiculous stat. Georgia got 611 total yardage. That's insane. They got 311 through the air, and they got 300 on the ground rushing. I've never seen a game like that with 300 rushing yards. That's crazy. But Ole Miss had the ball for 29 minutes of possession, and Georgia had it for 30. So pretty even as far as time of possession. But you just got to give it to Georgia Bulldogs, man. Just really, really good team. Just a force to be reckoned with. But that's all I have for the video. And also, with this victory, Georgia punched their ticket to Atlanta to play my Alabama Crimson Tide. So that's going to be a really, really good game. Georgia still has to finish out their schedule. They got to play Tennessee, got to go on the road. And I think they finish off with Georgia Tech. Alabama, they still have to they play Chattanooga, and then they got to go on the road and play Auburn. So, but both of these teams, are going to meet. They're going to play in the SEC championship. Can't wait. Going to be a really, really good game. And I feel like the winner should go on and possibly get in the playoffs. I'm pretty sure if Georgia wins, they're getting in because they'll be undefeated, in my opinion. But if Alabama get in there, will the playoff committee put in a one-loss team? It all remains to be seen. But can't wait. We got to finish. Both teams got to finish out their schedules. Like I said, Georgia got to get through past Tennessee, and Alabama got to get past Auburn. But should be a good game on December 2nd, in Atlanta. But that's all I have for the video. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll definitely be back with more college football content. Thanks, guys, and roll tide.